Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is when you hear this message, I pray that you're poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. One of my favorite Afro-Cuban rumbas has a refrain that says, si vamos a hablar, hablemos profundo. If we're going to talk, let's talk deeply. This is what the Yoruba call ijinle, deep talk, deep talk. And deep talk is not important for the sake of seeming smart or seeming deep. Deep talk is essential because it's only by going to the root of the thing, to the depths of a thing, that you're going to be able to properly create a target or a desired outcome. That is, if you don't know where you're starting, if you don't know the original, then what you're going to be creating will be a compromised, watered down derivative, which eventually becomes devoid of any of its true power and essence. In the work of Carl Jung, he talks about the death of symbols and how symbols and whole symbolic systems become defunct and die precisely because they lose contact with their source. And of course, you know, in the Yoruba tradition, we say, no matter how far a river flows, it never forgets its source. Because the moment a river is separated from its source, then it naturally dries up. Deep talk is intended to ensure that you are familiar with the source, that you are able to make a direct connection between what you're doing now and the origin and the source of that thing. You're aligned with the essence of the thing. This is super important right now because Orisha lifestyle, or talk about Orisha lifestyle, is becoming so prolific. But unfortunately, the overwhelming majority of the people are being led astray. You're being led astray sometimes deliberately, but I think most of the times it's accidental, it's inadvertent, that the people don't really know that they're leading you astray. They're coming into the conversation, you know, halfway in, and they're responding to the immediacy of the time. People are coming to Orisha with urgent problems. They're trying to put food in their mouth. They're trying to put clothes on their back. They're trying to put a roof over their head. And as a result, they're interpreting everything and discussing everything and trying to orientate your solutions according to what's on the horizon 5 minutes from now. Yeah, I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's the reality of the moment, the urgency of the moment, that's skewing people's ability to fully understand and interpret what Ifa is, what Orisha is, and what we're really trying to do. Okay? So, for example, people are fond nowadays of talking about Iwa, Kwele, Iwa Rere, Iwa Tito, etc., etc. But based on my observation, the overwhelming majority of the people who are talking about Iwa, who are using Iwa as the basis of their conversation or the basis of their position, are the most grimy, right? They're most grimy because they are the furthest away from the essential source of what we're doing. What do I mean? Obatala is the one who brought Iwa into the world. Okay? And people will conclude that because Al-Batala is the king of white cloth, and the white cloth is synonymous with purity, that this justifies the explanation of Iwa as virtue, as morality, right? Iwa Kwele and Iwa and all that is about morality. But that is part of leading you astray, right? We're obsessed with this idea of Iwa as virtue and character and behavior and morality as a part of our urgent need to recover from the Bible, the whole Judeo-Christian and Islamic world, where we're scrambling to have a code of conduct that will give us something to think about and a way to behave that is independent of, for example, the 10 Commandments, right? And so in this urgent need to have some set of parameters to tell you what to do under all circumstances, because you're used to that. You're used to having some point of reference that says, don't do this and don't do this and don't do this and don't do this. Everybody is following these don'ts under all circumstances all the time. When you start to entertain the idea that, well, I don't follow that religion, I still need a code of conduct. And so you have this lightweight panic going on in the back of your mind. And so you rush to Iwa as a replacement. Okay? It's not wicked, but it's not accurate. Al-Batala didn't bring virtue and morality and character to the world. That isn't the point of Al-Batala's contribution. Al-Batala brought existence, which is a far greater thing for you to understand. Existence. Iwa is existence. Iwa is existence. The calabash of existence is what Al-Batala brought from the heavenly realm to the earthly realm. Right? If you switch and you grasp that concept in and of itself, you understand the significance, the depth, and the gravity, and how that changes your trajectory as the first masterpiece of Al-Batala as a human being. Right? Al-Batala brought the calabash of existence into the world. And when you start to get to existence, well, you got to talk about identity. In order for something to exist, it must have an identity. Or the moment something comes into existence, it has an identity. This is what we call Ordi. Your Ordi is the thing that differentiates your portion of existence from my portion. Right? These two things coexist, and we know that they coexist, and we can define them by their identities. Ordi. Now, Ordi in and of itself is divided into two parts. You have Ordi Ode and you have Ordi Inu. Your Ordi Ode is tied to your consciousness. When you have existence and you have identity, you have consciousness. Your consciousness is everything that you can think of. Your consciousness is everything that you can analyze. Your consciousness is everything that you can contemplate, organize, anticipate, envision. That's consciousness. But then there's an aspect of your consciousness that is a part of you, but it has lapsed out of your ability to think of, organize, and contemplate. That becomes your unconscious mind, so to speak. We call it the mind, and I'm reluctant to it because the mind isn't just in your brain. The mind is all of your being. There's your mind permeates every cell in your body. All of your body is conscious of you, of the aspect of, or the dimension of you being, your beingness. Okay, all of that is in your conscious mind, but there's a part of it that has lapsed out of your your awareness, that's what it calls your unconscious mind. That's what we will call your ori inu, which is why your ori inu and your iwa can be used interchangeably. Actually, if you go and study the verses, there will be instances wherein your ori inu, your iwa, they can be used interchangeably to say destiny, to say character, to say existence. But I'm describing them, articulating them one by one, but they're overlapped. They're inseparable from one another. Once something exists, it has an identity. It has a consciousness. Consciousness lapses into unconsciousness, or really out of unconsciousness comes your consciousness. Your unconscious mind feeds your conscious mind, is a better way of saying it. Your unconscious mind is yet the aspect of Ori that lives forever. There's an aspect of Ori that you're here on the earthly plane, but you're also simultaneously existing in the heavenly plane, because that represents your unconscious mind. And it's your unconscious mind that feeds your conscious mind all the symbols and images that allow you to think, organize, dream, envision, etc. This is why we say earth is the marketplace, heaven is our home. We started in heaven. We begin in the heavenly realm. Everything that you are begins in the unconscious mind. And then as is necessary, your unconscious mind, your soul consciousness, your Ori, is going to start feeding you with different images and symbols that will bring about balance, order, healing, restoration, direction, fulfillment, right? It's informing what is necessary. These are the aspects of the tradition that talk about the real source of your existence and your being, and the real purpose. And this is where the lesson takes real hold, and I want you to start to understand. It isn't just that these things exist, and I invite you to take these things to your Oluo and your Yalorisha. Take these things to your Baba, to your Iya, and ask them. Okay, ask them, and see how deep the conversation can take you, and what different dimensions you start to discover about the tradition as you approach it from the depths. Okay, the real purpose for doing this is not to be smart aleck. It's not to be trying to demonstrate that you're smarter than anybody, or that you know more than anybody else. It's to get a real clear understanding of what we're really trying to do. What's the real goal and objective of the tradition, of the practices that we're mastering? Why are we doing these things? We cannot continue to determine our success and the efficacy of what we do by these temporal stimuli, the stuff that's going on around you right now. You're not just trying to solve these immediate problems. You're not just trying to put food on your table and clothes on your back and a roof over your head. That's essential. But once you've done that, you have to start to think more deeply about, where are we going with this? Why did Olodumare present this system to us? What's our place and our role in the big picture of things? What is going to be our contribution to the eternal reality, the eternal plan that Olodumare has for all creation? It goes beyond you eating every day. It goes beyond you having stuff. It goes beyond your popularity and your fame. It goes beyond your sense of self-importance. What is the real objective here? So if we're going to talk, let's talk deeply about who we are as Eniyan. Who are we as Eniyan? Why did Olodumare create us with Ori Inu, with Iwa? Why? Why are we here? After Olodumare had commissioned an Obatala to create the trees and the fish and the birds and the animals, why are people necessary? What's our role? What's our function? What's our purpose? because we know that none of this is accidental. None of this is by happenstance. This is not random. There is a reason and a purpose for it. And the real experience of that is something that you have to face and seek deliberately and explicitly if it is to truly be internalized and mastered by you, which will allow you to fully occupy your space, to really exist fully and be conscious of your existence and express your identity in a way that is in alignment with Olodumare's plan. This is the essence of leadership. I'm sending this message out to the ones who are really ready to use their natural gifts and talents to create positive influence. If you're one of those people, then find out how Oloye or Bafemi Origuwa and the Orisha Lifestyle Academy can help you take your practice and your life to the deepest level possible. Visit me at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com, and let's start working together to help you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you are destined to serve. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Odabo.